Best gift for everyone. Carva Mini.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Arjuna could see thousands of heads with thousands of helmets, eyes, so many arms, bellies and legs. And in this way he saw universal form. Usually people think that this universal form is the original form of God, who took the form of an ordinary human being, like we all take various forms. And that Sahasra Shirsha, the form of many heads, bellies, arms and legs, is the original form of Lord. But this is not fact. So what is fact? What is the mystery of this universal form? Let us try to understand in this chapter. Chapter number 11, the universal form. This session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, our spiritual master and the founder and acharya of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement. Let us start with verse number 1. Arjuna uvacha mad anugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sangitam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna said, I have heard your instruction on confidential spiritual matters which you have so kindly delivered unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam prutau vistarasho maya vattah kamalapatraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam. O Lotus Side 1, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, as realized through your inexhaustible glories. Evam etad yatha tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see here before me your actual position, I yet wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So we have to read these things very carefully. If we read the first line of this verse, Arjuna is mentioning Evam etad yathatatvam. Etad, this roop, this form which I am seeing in front of me, this is yathatatvam, even though I am perceiving you as it is, your original form. Yet I wish to see how you have entered in this cosmic manifestation. Aishwaram Rupam. Aishwaram means opulences. So Arjuna has agreed that Krishna, the form which I am seeing here in front of me, this is yathatatvam, as it is I am seeing you. So these words are important. So it is not that Krishna is somebody else who is there within the body of two-handed Shyam Sundar form, who was a chariot driver of Arjuna. This is a very wrong understanding. Krishna is not Supreme Person in the form of soul residing within the two-handed Shyam Sundar form, but the original form of God as it is two-handed form only. Evam etad yathat tatvam. So as you are, I am seeing you. But still I want to see other form which is Aishwaram Rupam, how you have pervaded the entire universe. So what does it mean? It means just as the soul is present in this body and it is pervading in the entire body in the form of consciousness. Similarly, as we have discussed in the previous chapter, Lord enters in this universe, in this material world, and so many universes they develop. So unless the consciousness is present, body does not develop. In a similar fashion, the universes will not develop, manifest so many variegated forms unless God has entered into it. So just like we have got this form, so we can show this form to anybody who desires to meet us. In a similar fashion, Krishna has got so many forms. His original form Arjuna is seeing, but this universal form which is developed when Krishna enters in the form of Vishnu in the material world, that is also Krishna's form. That form, although, is accepted temporarily. All the other forms, Krishna forms, so many Narayan forms, they are eternally situated in the spiritual world. And they manifest here in the material world for some time and then they again disappear. In the spiritual world, they are permanently situated. But the Vishnu form of Krishna, it is temporary. When the material world is exhibited by the material energy, this universal form is shown. And then, even though it is transcendental form, it is under the control of time factor. In time, it is displayed, and then in time, it is finished. So that in future, no ordinary person can claim that, yes, I am also God. As in the West, they say India is a factory of producing gods. Because so many saints, when they went to the West, they started claiming, I am God. So hardly they were able to find a person who tells the knowledge of God and tells that I am representative of God, I am servant of God. Everybody claimed, I am God. And you do this my process, my course, you will realize you are also God. So God is not so cheap. Controller of all the planets, solar systems, so many universes. So in order to save such people from such manufactured gods, Arjuna asked. So tomorrow if somebody claims in future that I am Krishna or I am God, I am incarnation, then we should kindly request them, can you please show me your universal form? Your body of entire universe, can you please show it to me? Then we can accept that you are God. So otherwise anybody can claim, any madman can tell that I am God. So in order to save the people, Arjuna is very, very advanced devotee. He is pure devotee of Krishna. So there is no need to see such forms. Pure devotees are not interested in seeing the opulence of Krishna. In material world, we have a relationship with somebody because we know, oh, that person is very opulent. From a person who doesn't have opulences, his family members also don't care for him, friends don't care for him. But in the case of God, it is the other way around. God is actually satisfied when somebody worships Him in the absence of knowledge of the opulences. That is pure devotional service. I want to serve you, worship you simply out of love. So thus very advanced devotees like Arjuna, they are not interested in seeing such opulences. That is why Krishna did not show him to Arjuna also. But now, for guiding the common people who may get misguided in future by the false incarnations, cheaters, Arjuna is requesting Krishna so that in future people may not doubt, oh, he was only a friend, so he was flattering his friend Krishna, or king always engages in diplomacy. So there could be a diplomatic intent behind praise of Krishna in order to remove all such doubts of flattery, of diplomacy and any other factor. Arjuna is requesting that please Krishna, kindly show your universal form. Manyase yadi tachhakyam maya drishtum iti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that universal self. So this attitude is very nice. Manyate yadi tat shakyam. If you think I am capable. Sometimes people, they challenge that can you show me God? So once when Srila Prabhupada was challenged in similar fashion, can you show me God? Because Prabhupada is talking about God. So Prabhupada told, yes, I can show you. And then Prabhupada pointed towards his all sannyasi, other disciples. But you have to become like them. Then I will show you. So then people shy away. If you want to see a big man, you have to be qualified. The heads of the state, of government, they don't meet ordinary people. So if you want to see God, yes, you can see, but there is qualification required. Ordinary people cannot understand. Kunti Maharani is telling, Tatha Paramhansanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyema Histriyaha. Tatha Paramhansanam. The most advanced personalities are called Paramahansa, who are beyond Varnashram system. So when a person takes sannyas, then also he can just understand, if he is a perfect sannyasi, that I am not the body. Gradually he can come to that platform. But unless somebody is Paramhansa, completely beyond the clutches of nature, one cannot understand the personality of Godhead. Tatha Paramahansanam Muninam Amalatmanam. So the most advanced sages, Paramhansas, Munis means very, very thoughtful sages. Amalatmana means those who are completely pure in the heart. There is no lust and there is no greed in the heart. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. They understand you by following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Kunti Maharani is telling. Katham Pashyema Histriya. I am a woman. I have so many worldly attachments. So how will I understand? I am attached to Vrishnis, Kunti Maharani is telling. I am attached to Pandavas. So mother's side and the side of husband. Woman has two relationships. So either from the mother's side or from the children's side, husband sides. Both these attachment, Kunti Maharani is telling, please cut my attachment. As long as a person is materially attached, there is no question of realizing God. So first of all, we need to have complete material detachment, complete purity of heart. One should be very, very intelligent, very thoughtful, and one should be beyond the control of laws of nature. And then by executing Bhakti Yoga, following the rules and regulations very, very strictly, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one has to become very qualified. Thus Arjuna is not impudent like modern people. Without any qualification, they want, just like a small child, even if he, or for that matter any other species, dog wants to understand calculus, trigonometry. Can we help him understand? It's not possible. It is not capable. So before we challenge that, please show me that, we should understand what is my capacity. Arjuna, being very advanced personality, he is having all the good qualities like humility, and he is telling Manyase Yadi Tat Shakyam. If you think that I am capable, then you please explain it to me. This is the mood in which we should understand Krishna. We should approach the spiritual master, not in a challenging spirit. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Pashya me Partha Rupani Shatasho Ata Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varnakriti Nicha. The blessed Lord said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, behold now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied divine forms, multicolored like the sea. Pashyadityan vasun rudran Ashvinau marutastatha Bahunya drishta purvani Pashyascharyani bharata. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Rudras and all the demigods. Behold the many things which no one has ever seen or heard before. Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanya drashtumichhasi. Whatever you wish to see can be seen all at once in this body. This universal form can show you all that you now desire, as well as whatever you may desire in the future. Everything is here completely. So nobody has been able to see everything of the universe or even of this planet in one place. But by the mercy of the Supreme who has created everything, this vision was made possible for Arjuna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you can see everything that you may desire to see. Sitting in one place, Arjuna is able to see all the universes. There are so many universes, and all the universes, including past, present and future, because time is also energy of Krishna. So Arjun was able to see all the universes. Arjun was able to see past, present and future. So how is it possible? It might be difficult for us to comprehend, who can but perceive three dimensions. But we have to understand that the world is not just made up of three dimensions. As if we consider living entities who can only perceive two dimensions. For them, if they want to conceive a sphere, a cuboid, they can never do so. It is not possible. So if a sphere passes from their plane, they will have different understandings, different perceptions of it. When the sphere is just, those who know little basic mathematics and projections, they might be able to understand. So if the sphere passes the plane, let us assume there is a world which is only in two dimensions, and the living entities cannot perceive anything beyond the two dimensions, that plane. So when the sphere is touching that 2D plane, they will perceive it as a point. And when the sphere is passing from that plane, then that point will expand as a disk. And then when the circle has crossed 50%, then they will tell, oh, the disk is shrinking, and finally it will become a point. And when the sphere has completely passed their plane, they will tell, oh, it has vanished. The disk has vanished. But actually the sphere was never a disk, because they can only perceive disks, two-dimensional forms. They are defining it as a disk. But sphere is sphere. It is not possible in two-dimensional perspective to conceive what is sphere. For example, now we see three-dimensional objects. There is length, width and height, as we can see of this book or of any object whatsoever. If somebody tells us, can you perceive fourth dimension? So we cannot conceive what can be fourth. Length, breadth and height, that's it. So our brains are not designed to conceive of any dimension beyond the three: length, width and height. So in a similar fashion, the 2D living entities cannot perceive of anything, any object which is having three dimensions. So in a similar fashion, we may tell Krishna, oh, Krishna is an ordinary human being. He is having 2 hands and 2 legs and like that. And Krishna's body is growing. And all these things we will tell, but that is not fact. Reality is very, very different. And for instance, we tell that our body is growing. But Vedas do not tell our bodies are growing. Vedas tell our bodies are changing every moment. Just like we see in a movie hall, so many frames, it is called motion pictures. So many pictures, they are in motion. They pass in the front of projector. Sometimes I think the rate is up to 50 or 30 frames per second. 50 or 30 small frames, small pictures, they pass very swiftly. And so we think the hands and legs are moving. On the screen we see dynamism, the video. What is video? Video is nothing but collection of many small photos, small pictures, individual static pictures which pass very quickly in second. In a similar fashion, we are changing our bodies every moment. So likewise, scientists can have so many subject matters of research and discovery if they read the Vedas, so proper research can be carried out on this. Now they are telling we are changing our bodies every 7 years, every cell of the body is changed. So Vedas is telling no, not 7 years, every moment you are changing your body. Next moment our body has become changed, although it appears like the previous body. Just like the next picture has come in the front of projector, and that picture is completely different from the one which has passed previous to it. It is completely different. But we think, oh, the hand is moving. Hand is not moving. There is one picture where hand is like this, then hand is like this. And we see the motion of hand. Actually, we are seeing so many frames passing. In a similar fashion, we are seeing so many bodies passing. It is a state of flux that we are in. Likewise, our perception of the world is very different from the reality. That is why Krishna told, Jnanam te hamsa vijnanam idam vakshyami asheshataha. I will explain you phenomenon and I will explain you noumenon. What you perceive is happening and what actually happens. So what actually happens, only Krishna can tell us. That is his creation. So thus a sphere is sphere. We can never understand the two-dimensional living entities. They will tell it is, disk has taken birth. It is point-sized. Then disk is increasing. Disk is growing. Disk is shrinking. That is never disk. What is growing and shrinking is simply passing of sphere through your plane. So we should never try to define reality as per what we are perceiving. So sitting in one place, by Krishna's mercy, Arjuna was able to see everything. Just like if a person rises above that 2D plane, one can see everything what is existing on that two-dimensional world, simply by rising above in higher dimension. In a similar fashion, by Krishna's mercy, an ordinary living entity also becomes capable of such perception. How was this perception? Let us try to understand. From whatever we can understand as per the revelation, what Sanjay also was able to see. So exact vision is not possible. As far as possible, he has tried to relate to us the things. Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give to you divine eyes by which you can behold my mystic opulence. So as we have been discussing, our eyes are designed to perceive the world in a certain way. So now Krishna is giving Divyam te chakshuhu, divine eyes to Arjuna, by which he will be able to see. Divine vision is given to Arjuna. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva tato rajan mahayogeshvaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupamaishwaram. Sanjaya said, O king, speaking thus, the Supreme, the Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead displayed his universal form to Arjuna. Anekavaktra nayanam anekadbhuta darshanam aneka divyabharanam divyanekodyatayudham divyamalyambaradharam divyagandhanulepanam sarvascharyamayam devam anantam vishvato mukham. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths and unlimited eyes. It was all wondrous. The form was decorated with divine, dazzling ornaments and arrayed in many garbs. He was garlanded gloriously, and there were many scents smeared over his body. All was magnificent, all expanding, unlimited. This was seen by Arjuna. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapaduthita Yadi Bhasadrashi Sasyat Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. If hundreds of thousands of suns rose up at once into the sky, they might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So although it is not possible to describe exactly, because we cannot conceive, but still he is comparing the situation to what we have seen here. We have seen one sun. So he is telling, you can just imagine if hundreds and thousands of suns rise in the sky, what would be the effulgence? Such is the effulgence coming out of that universal form of the Lord. Tatra ekastham jagat kritsnam pravibhaktam anekadha apashyad deva devasya Sharire Pandavastada. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. So unlimited universes Arjuna is able to see sitting in one place. Tatasa vismaya vishto Rishtaro madhananjayaha pranamya shirasa devam kritanjalir abhashata. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end. Arjuna began to pray with folded hands, offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devastav deva dehe sarvastata bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishinscha sarvanurganscha divyan. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled together in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and many sages and divine serpents." So at the bottom of the universe, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying on the Vasuki bed. And on top of the universe is Lord Brahma himself, who is sitting on, who is manifested on the lotus flower. So thus we can understand Arjuna was able to see everything in the universe. Aneka bahu darvaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshvara vishvarupa. O Lord of the universe, I see in your universal body many forms, bellies, mouths, eyes, expanded without limit. There is no end, there is no beginning, and there is no middle to all this. Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo rashim sarvato deeptimantam pashyami tvam durniriksham samantad deepta nalarka dyutimaprameyam. Your form, adorned with various crowns, clubs and discs, is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, which is fiery and immeasurable like the sun. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam tvamavyaya shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the best in all the universes. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of religion, the eternal personality of Godhead. Again, see, same word has come in the last line. Sanatanastvam purusho mato me. What is Arjuna's conclusion when he has seen this form? He is telling Sanatanaha, you are eternally purusho mato me. So you are the supreme person, eternal person. So nowhere it is being mentioned that one energy is there. Arjuna is not telling, oh Krishna, I am seeing just one energy spread everywhere. He is telling so many forms and I am seeing that you are eternal personality. Sanatan, there was never a time when you were energy and you have become a person. No. Krishna is telling Sanatan means always, eternally you are a Purush. It is not that you were energy, that energy has descended in the form of a Purush and you will be dissolved after this form disappears. No. So please always we have to understand this very important point. Because some people have told ultimate truth is simply one energy, this has brought a catastrophe in the life of people. Catastrophe, a disaster in the life of people. Now nobody takes interest in spiritual life. Because we all want happiness, we all want relations, we want interactions. We like to eat, we like to watch beautiful forms, we like to hear nice music, we like to talk, we like to socialize, and all these activities. So we have to understand ultimate truth cannot be simply dead energy, inactivity. If soul is so much active within the body, now within the body we are conditioned. If the soul goes in the body of tree, cannot even move, just in one place one has to stand. In human form of life, there is more freedom. In the form of Devtas, higher form, freedom increases much more. So even though one is conditioned by the body, you find in jail a prisoner who is having very heavy iron shackles and still he is shaking his hands and legs. So you can just imagine if he gets free, how much active he will be. So within this body, the soul is so active. When the soul leaves the body, how can it become inactive energy? No, the soul becomes much more active outside of this body. So we have to understand this important point. The sensual perception activity is the perception and activity of the soul. Eyes are just like cameras. So how does this philosophy make sense that soul is not a person? Soul is simply some energy. Like electrical energy, it is sitting within. No. So this body is not, the soul is not just like battery which you put in a robot and then the robot starts walking and talking and all such things like that. The robots do not have feelings. But we have feelings. We have thinking. We have thinking, feeling, willing, perceptions. So these feelings are because we are not just like one battery. We are person. And actually we are having perceptions which are received through this body now. The eyes are just like cameras. If the soul has no capacity to see, a blind person cannot see even through the best of the cameras, best of the lenses. A person needs to have capacity to see, then camera, lens, binoculars, microscope can be used to perceive the world. So the soul has got capacity to see, so it is able to see through these eyes. You remove the eyes, put another set of eyes, soul will start seeing through those eyes. In a similar fashion, through this skin, the soul is feeling the touch sensation. If the soul has no faculty of touching, you give the best of the skins, very active skins, soul will not be able to perceive touch. If the soul does not have capacity to hear, you give best of the ears, soul will never be able to hear. You give the best of the earphones, best of the musical devices, speakers, and you play it to the person who is deaf. One cannot hear. The earphones make sense only when a person has capacity to hear. So it is simple to understand, right? This body is a machine and we have got the capacity. I can hear the voice through my phone. I can hear the voice directly because I can see. If I am deaf, I don't have sense of hearing. You bring the best of the things, gadgets with best sound quality, I will not be able to hear. So the soul has capacity to hear, to see, to socialize, to talk, to joke. Now the question is, these features soul has got because they must be present in the super soul, in the origin. So unless the origin has got these qualities, the products cannot have it. So origin should have all those things which we have plus many things which are not present in the soul. Ocean should have everything that is present in a drop and many things which are not present in the drop. But at least whatever is present in the drop should be present in ocean. The salt which is present in the drop should be present in ocean. Other chemicals which are present in drop must be present in ocean. In a similar fashion, all the features that we have borrowed from our origin. Devesha Jagan Nidhanam. He is Devesha, he is the controller of all the lords, controller of all the demigods. He is their origin, Adi Devam. So origin should have all the features. So God is a person. We have tendency to construct a house, to live in a nice big palatial building. This tendency is coming because God also should have this tendency. We have tendency to socialize with our friends and family because God also has got this tendency. We produce children so that we can live together with our children and have a nice family life because God also should have this tendency. So we are all children of God. So it is very simple to understand. God expects that we should live with God very happily in a loving relationship. And that is the purpose of creation. That brings ultimate satisfaction to God and brings satisfaction to us also. So if we tell spiritual life means one energy and we have to simply go and merge, this also can be done. Krishna is very merciful. If you do not want active spiritual life, Krishna is such a merciful, kind father. He is telling you don't want to serve me, you simply want to merge and remain in zero activity. That state also I will provide. But you will realize you are not satisfied even in that stage. So for ordinary people who want activity, there is great hope that spiritual life is full of much more activity and those activities are completely full of pleasure. So for this we have to understand, read the literatures like Bhagavad Gita, where in every other shloka it is written Purusha, Purusha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karan Karanam, the cause of all causes, the energy which is there everywhere. As Krishna will tell, Brahmano hi pratisthaham, that Brahma Jyoti is situated on me. not that I have come from Brahma Jyoti. That is not fact. So here again, Sanatanastvam Purusho Matome. You are Sanatan Purush. You are eternally a person. Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam Ananta Bahum Shashi Surya Netram Pashyami Tvam Dipta Hutasha Vaktram Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam. You are the origin without beginning, middle or end. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are among your great unlimited eyes. By your own radiance, you are heating this entire universe. Dyava prathivyoridamantaram hi vyaptvam tvayakena dishascha sarvaha drishtvaadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space in between. O Great One, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all the planetary systems are perplexed. Amihitvam surasangha vishanti kechid bhita pranjalayo grinanti swastiti yuktva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabhi. All the demigods are surrendering and entering into you. They are very much afraid, and with folded hands, they are singing the Vedic hymns. So Arjuna's vision was not a dream that Arjuna is hallucinating over there, because others were also able to see. And Sanjay is describing this thing, that in other planetary systems, everybody who was qualified with spiritual vision, they were able to see this universal form of the Lord. So this is the explanation of Sanjay. So not only Arjuna was able to see, Sanjay also was able to see, and also he was able to see that in other planetary systems also, other devotees are also, some people are getting fearful, afraid, they are running away, some people are offering their respects. So in this manner we can understand it's not a hallucination, because others in different planets are also able to perceive. Rudraditya vasavo ye cha sadhya Vishveshvinau marutashchoshma pascha Gandharva yaksha surasiddha sangha Vikshante tvam vimsme. I'll repeat. Rudraditya vasavo ye cha sadhya Vishveshvinau marutashchoshma pascha Gandharva yaksha surasiddha sangha Vikshante tvam vismitaschaiva sarve. The different manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashwins, the Maruts, the forefathers and the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, Asuras, and all perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. So different species of life in different planets, they are able to see this form in wonder. Rupam mahatte bahuvaktra netram mahabaho bahubahu rupadam bahudaram bahudanshtra karalam drishtva lokapya vyathitas tathaham. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your many faces, eyes, arms, bellies, and legs, and your terrible teeth, and as they are disturbed, so am I. Nabasprisham deeptam aneka varnam vyattananam deepta vishala netram drishtva hitvam pravyathitantaratma dhritim na vindami shamam cha Vishnu. O all-pervading Vishnu, I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Seeing your radiant colors fill the skies and beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid. Danshtra karalani chate mukhani dristvaiva kala nalasannibhani दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवासा. O Lord of the Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. Ami chatvam dhritarashtrasya putraah sarve sahaiva vanipala sanghaye bhishmo dronasuta putras tathaso sahasmadiyayrapi yodha mukhyaye vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti danshtra karalani bhayanakani kechid vilagna dashanantareshu sandrishyante churnitairuttamangaye. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona and Karna, and all our soldiers are rushing into your mouths, their heads smashed by your fearful teeth. I see that some are being crushed between your teeth as well. As Krishna told before displaying this form to Arjuna, you will be able to see whatever you desire. So Arjuna was desiring to see the outcome of the battle. So thus Arjuna is seeing that all the soldiers are entering into the mouth of this universal form. And all the elements of the opposing party, including the most powerful warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Sutaputra, Karna, all of them are going to die, including the soldiers of the Pandavas side. But Pandavas only will remain. So this future Arjuna is able to see. Yatha nadinam bahavombuvegaah samudram eva bhimukhad tatha tavami naralokavira vishanti vaktrani abhivijvalanti. As the rivers flow into the sea, so all these great warriors enter your blazing mouths and perish. Yatha pradiptam jvalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samriddha vegaah tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas tavapi vaktrani samriddha vegaah. I see all people rushing with full speed into your mouths as moths dash into a blazing fire. Leliyase grasamanas samantal lokan samagran vadanai jvaladbhihi tejo bhirapurya jagat samagram vasastavogra pratapanti Vishnu. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people in your flaming mouths and covering the universe with your immeasurable rays. Scorching the worlds, you are manifest. Akhyahi me ko bhavanugra rupo namostu te deva varaprasida vigyatumichhami bhavantamadyam nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. I do not know what your mission is, and I desire to hear of it. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Kalosmi Lokakshayakrit Pravriddho Lokan Samahartum Iha Pravrittaha Rite Pitvamna Bhavishyanti Sarve Yevasthita Pratyanikeshu Yodha. The blessed Lord said, Time I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I have come to engage all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samriddham mayaivaite nihatav purvameva Nimittamatram bhava savyasachin. Therefore, get up and prepare to fight. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachin, can be but an instrument in the fight. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadritham cha karnam tathanyaan api yodha viran maya hatanstvam jahima vyatishta yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. The blessed Lord said, all the great warriors Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna are already destroyed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies. So thus every plan here is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these verses are very, very important. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachan. We can only become an instrument. Everything is happening. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. As the head of the state decides, now we have to wage a war. Now all those people who follow the directions, they fight. They are given gallantry awards, medals and so many other benefits. If the head of the state decides we have to make this road, do this development in the country, these should be the policies. Those people who abide by that, who come forward to help the government in that effort, they are recognized for their duties and they are given good posts, money and all success. But if somebody tries to go against the will of the state or that of the ruler, then one will be frustrated. So we have to understand first what is the mission of the Lord and then try to act according to that mission. Then our life will be glorious. Otherwise, if we have our own calculation like Arjuna was planning, Arjuna was thinking, if I do not fight, then they will continue to live. Arjuna had his calculation, if I do not fight, then they will continue to live and then we will have a happy life. My soldiers are there alive, the soldiers on the other party will be alive, and then they will take care of their families, children, dharma will be established. Arjuna was putting forth so many logics, and it appears logical also that if all these people are killed, the men and the elderly people of the society, who will be there, who will protect the dharma, pass on this tradition, this knowledge, who will protect women, what will happen to the society? But Arjuna was not knowing all of them were destined to be killed. That is what Krishna told. All of them have been destined to be killed as per my plan. Now you can take the credit by being an instrument. So whatever is going to happen, nobody can stop it. As per the direction of material energy, things will happen. So we should never plan anything for material happiness, keeping our spiritual life aside. Those plans are not going to work. But we should understand what is Krishna's ultimate mission, and that is to give this knowledge to the people. And if we dovetail the activities of our life according to that plan, then our life is glorious. So otherwise, if Arjuna would not have followed Krishna, he would not have got the glory of defeating such great fighters who were many, many times more powerful than Arjuna. Arjuna would not have been able to rule over the world in this planet, and there is no question of any other enjoyment whatsoever, because all of them anyway would have been killed. So it would not have been possible for Arjuna either to get fame as a great warrior who was able to defeat the people who were many, many times more powerful than him. He would not have been able to enjoy the kingdom. He would not even have been able to enjoy the relatives. They anyway would have been killed, and he would have become inglorious to disobey Krishna. He would have fought not according to the instructions of Krishna, but then he would have created karma for himself. He would have undergone many, many repeated births and deaths. So thus we should not think, oh, let me save some time and this time I can invest in my material well-being. No, sir. That time is anyway going to go away from us. We should not think, oh, let me save this money, this resource I'll use for my enjoyment. No. So that is why the Shastras tell 50% of your income one should spend for the welfare of others. So if we are Krishna conscious, we should understand this is the best welfare activity we should use for that. Otherwise also for welfare purpose we should use. This is how the world has been designed. The intelligence should be used to guide the people who are less intelligent. So it is the responsibility of all the intelligent people. They should understand what is truth, because less intelligent people cannot. And explain them what is truth so that they can understand. Just like now also we see some intelligent people who can do research. So there is some virus, some disease, they want to find out the cause, and then by their research work, they are able to help many people who cannot do research. And all those ordinary people do not have capacity, do not have time, do not have resources to do such research. So those who can do research should help people who cannot. Now there is attack on the country. So those people who have strength, who have weapons, who have training, should defend others who cannot fight. In this way, one's skills, resources should be used in the service of others. In this way, the nature is balanced very nicely. This we have discussed many times before. So please, I request, one should never have this tendency. That is why Krishna has told, Durena hi avaram karma. This is abominable mentality. I'll repeat. Durena hi avaram karma. This is abominable mentality. That let me enjoy everything. How just see everyone is doing that. Whatever they are earning, they want to earn. This is not right. So the Vedas are telling, if you want to have a nice life, 50% of your income should be used for welfare activity. And if we are wise, we should use for the best welfare activity, spreading this confidential knowledge by which people can get permanent happiness. So otherwise, that money will cause distress to us. That will cause disease, and we'll spend in the fees of the doctor, or some legal case will happen, lawyer may take away, or some other disturbances can happen. Or we'll spend in sense gratification, which gives evanescent pleasure for a while, but we are never satisfied. So thus it is being told we should understand plan of the Lord and then become just an instrument in that plan. Because whatever is happening as per the plan of the Lord, Lord's plan will always be successful. So if the devotee follows that, not only materially he is very nicely taken care, but there is also spiritual success in every respect. Sanjaya uvacha eta shrutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamana kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagadgadam bhita pranamya. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna trembled, fearfully offered obeisances with folded hands, and began falteringly to speak as follows. Arjuna uvacha sthane rishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prarishyatyanurajyate cha rakshansi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangha. O Rishikesh, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So important verse which is used here is Jagad Prahishyati Anurajyate cha. The world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. So there is so much joy in chanting the names of Krishna. It is this pleasure which we have to discover. So all the kings who are very rich, and recent example we have Gautam Buddha, born in princely order, but then he renounced all such opulences. So these words are very important. Jagat prahishyati anurajyate cha. By hearing your name, it fills everyone's heart with joy. So hearing, chanting about Krishna is the source of extraordinary happiness. To get this happiness, to get this Brahma Sukha, unlimited happiness, people, the great kings who are very rich, they would renounce everything. As Mirabhai has sung, Payo ji maine naam ratan dhan payo. I have got this valuable jewel of singing the glories of your holy name. But in our state, in conditioned state of life, when we think I am the body, then pittopataptarasanasya narochikano. Jaundice patient, we have discussed the example. We'll find it bitter, but we have to practice. Just keep on chanting and hearing always throughout the day as much as possible. And slowly, when our material addictions are getting washed off, when our heart is almost purified, then we will develop a very strong faith. And when we develop this strong faith, that faith transforms gradually into taste. And then this holy name will be so much pleasant. Now we are trying to arrange so many things for our pleasure. But all those things, first of all, if we are not able to arrange, we are in stress. And even if we have it, the demand is always more. Now I want 1 million, then I want $2 million, then $10 million. Heart is never satisfied. And just imagine if you develop taste in chanting the names of Krishna, anywhere and everywhere you can just chant and absorb yourself in unlimited happiness. Is it not very, very logical way of remaining blissful? You need not arrange anything. You can simply chant and hear the names of Krishna and you are absorbed in immense bliss. So this is what is the aim of life, to develop, but it takes some time. One has to practice. Some austerity is required, cleanliness is required. 4 regulative principles we have to follow. Please the spiritual master, work hard for Krishna, sacrifice for Krishna. And then when we get the taste of this holy name, then we will realize there is nothing more pleasurable than this. Kasmacha tena nameran mahatman gariyase brahmanopyadikarte ananta devesha jagannivasa tamaksharam sat asat tat param yat. O great one who stands above even Brahma, you are the original master. Why should they not offer their homage up to you? O limitless one, O refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So it is important, the word which is used here. All the words are important. And this new term which we have read here is Sat Asat Tat Param Yat. Sat and Asat means cause and effect. So you are both beyond the cause and the effect of this material world which we see. So Krishna's body is not the effect of any fusion of chemicals, male and female gametes. You are beyond the cause and effect. Our bodies are the result of some cause and effect of this world. So very clearly Arjuna is again stressing the nature of Krishna's body. It is transcendental. Tvam aksharam sat asat tat param yat. Tvamadi devav purushah puranas tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam vettasi vedyam cha param cha dhama tvaya tatam vishvam ananta rupa. You are the original personality, the Godhead. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You know everything and you are all that is knowable. You are above the material modes, O limitless form. The whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Vayuryamognir varuna shashankaha prajapatistvam prapitamahascha namo namastestu sahasrakritvaha punascha bhuyopi namo namaste. You are air, fire, water, and you are the moon. You are the supreme controller and the grandfather. Thus I offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times and again and yet again. Namah purastadata prishtataste namostute sarvata eva sarva ananta virya mita vikramastvam sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. Obeisances from the front, from behind and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading and thus you are everything. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi yachavaha sartham asit kritosi विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवापि अच्युत तत्समक्षं तत्क्षामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम्. I have in the past addressed you as O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying on the same bed or eating together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Please excuse me for all my offenses. So this is very important. Arjuna was a very close friend of Krishna. They are lying together on the same bed, playing together. Sometimes Arjuna would make fun of Krishna, and now he's seeing what is Krishna's opulence. So there are various stages of relationship. The relationship of Krishna, it begins with Dasyaras. So there is very nice shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. Itham satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam nardarakena sakam vijaharu krita punya punjaha. It means Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is perceived as Brahma Jyoti by some sages. Itham satam brahma sukhanubhutya. They think this is impersonal energy who has taken this form. Dasyam gatanam paradaivatena. Others who are enlightened, more enlightened, they act as servants of the God. And they perceive you as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, paradaivatena. So your devotees who render loving service to you perceive you as Supreme Personality, and yet others who are very foolish, Maya Shritanam, who have taken shelter of illusory energy of Krishna, who are under control of this material nature, Nardarakena, they think you are an ordinary human being. But all of them, they do not know Sakam Vijaharu Krita Punya Punjaha. This is explained in context of the cowherd boys, Krishna's friends, who are playing with Krishna just like an ordinary playmate. And sometimes they carry Krishna on their shoulders, sometimes Krishna is carrying them on his shoulders. They laugh at Krishna, they make fun of Krishna, they tease Krishna. So all these people cannot imagine. Here Arjuna is frightened. He is offering respects from all the sides, front, back and everywhere. And he's with folded hands, he's offering various prayers. But these people, they do not offer prayers to Krishna, they make fun of Krishna. The gopis are there in Vrindavan, they scold Krishna like anything, they chastise Krishna, somebody scolding God. A form so fearful that all the powerful warriors of all the sides, they are entering within his mouth, getting smashed in between his teeth. So how somebody can ride on his shoulder and make fun of him and be very so intimate like this? So this is the most exalted form of devotional service. That is why it is revealed in the Shastras. Krishna is telling, the bhakti which is in knowledge of my opulences does not satisfy me. That is the bhakti which is happening in the Vishnu Loka. Krishna is having his Narayan form, 400 forms. In the spiritual world, Tripada Vibhuti, there are so many planets. And because this material world is a reflection, we will see in the 15th chapter. Urdhumulam adhoshakam ashvatham prahur avyayam. This material world is a reflection. We are telling that this is illusion. But illusion should be based on reality. In dream, we talk with some people, we meet with many men, we eat, we touch, we laugh, because there is existence of such people and phenomena in this world, gross world. Thus, this gross world, if we are calling it illusion, on what basis this world is manifest? If everything is simply energy, the origin, why energy has taken the shape of man, woman, male and female species and so many species? Why energy would ever take the form of dog, an elephant, giraffe, fish? No. So, in spiritual world, these forms are existing. The spirit has got all these forms. Krishna has got all these forms. And all these forms are reflected in this material world. It is perverted reflection. Just like we have computer games. They are perverted reflection of the reality that we have here. Here we want to drive cars, we want to sometimes fight, And the same activities you can repeat in the computer game, that is simulation. Same thing Krishna mentions, Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakham. This material world is reflection of the original reality. So you have to go to the original reality. So in the spiritual world, in a similar fashion, just like we have here living entities, families, societies, it exists. But they are permanent, they are eternal, and they are existing just to give pleasure to Krishna. Krishna is the center of all the relationships. And in all the so many Vaikuntha planets, Lord Narayan is the presiding personality. He lives there with four-handed forms, with a club and discus in his hand, lotus flower and conch shell. And no ordinary person can have four-handed forms. His all opulence are there. So many servants are there around. His majesty is there. So in this great knowledge of his opulence, some devotees like to worship that form. Like Narad Muni, spiritual master of Vedvyas, he likes to worship God in this form of opulence. So that is personal choice also. God has many forms, any form can be worshipped. But Krishna tells, the worship which is done in opulence, it does not satisfy me. And this tendency is also natural. As many people tell, when they become successful, they see people are just mobbing around them. They are getting calls, they are trying to be friendly, people want to have relationships. Some powerful people who are in office, they would get the gifts on festivals and other important days. As soon as they retire, nobody cares for them. So in this material world, if a person is opulent, then automatically he or she will attract people around them. But they also know that these people are coming to me for opulence, not just for myself, for my love, for my relationship. Thus Krishna tells, this kind of bhakti does not actually satisfy me. The real bhakti is done when a person is forgetful of the opulence of Krishna. Thus in Vrindavan, people do not recognize. Here when Krishna came in Vrindavan, there is Vrindavan in spiritual world also, the topmost planet. So there the devotees are in forgetful state. They do not know that Krishna is Supreme Lord. So the state is same of a person who is very ignorant, and the state is same for the very elevated Paramhansa. Both behave like madmen. Very exalted Paramahansa, they may also behave like madmen, like Bharat Maharaj, who was ruler of the entire world. He had to become deer in his next life because of small attachment to deer. So in the second life which he took, he became a madman voluntarily. Even though he was very wise, he was aware of his past two births, but he understood, if I show some wisdom here, again they will entangle me in the affairs of this material world. So he started behaving like a madman. And like this, all the many great personalities who would renounce, they would become indifferent, just sometimes roaming without clothes and sometimes behaving madly so that people do not disturb them. Nobody likes to talk to madmen. And they understand, if I talk nicely, behave nicely, people will come to me and I will feel, oh, they love me, I will have affection for them. And nobody has affection for a mad person. So thus, any love, any affection that we see in this material world, that is because of these external designations, opulences that we acquire. And people understand, I am here just for a short while. The Shukdev Goswami, he was having all the siddhis but moved out of his house. He was not willing to come to this material world, and when he came to the material world, he walked out immediately. They are very cautious not to have entanglement in this material world, otherwise repeated birth and death will take place. So the most ignorant person who is become mad by excessive material desires, sometimes they are found in the mental hospitals, they are also mad. So the situation of this material world, miserable state, it is felt by the people who are in between. Those who are highly tamasic, they don't feel, even though they are suffering, but they do not understand that they are suffering. They are so much in ignorance. And those people who are Paramhansas, very elevated spiritualists, they are also not feeling the pangs of this material existence. It is meant for people who are in between, not highly in ignorance, nor very, very advanced in spiritual understanding. In a similar fashion, those who are in ignorance, they do not know Krishna is God. And even those people who are very advanced, they also do not know Krishna is God. Then why do they serve Krishna? So they have cultivated knowledge of God. So it does not mean that, okay, so Krishna is satisfied. If somebody does not know, I will not know about Krishna. I will not bother about this philosophy. No. We have to understand philosophy. Because when we understand these opulences, we become attached to Krishna. And in this attachment, when we start serving Krishna, then attachment becomes spontaneous. And that we can see even in this material world. People may get attracted because of opulence, but even though sometimes the opulence is not there. I married a very beautiful life partner, they met with an accident, but still I have some affection for them. Crude example I am giving. So in a similar fashion, even though we are getting attracted to Krishna because of the opulence, we are engaging in the service, but under the guidance of proper spiritual master, we have to aspire for a stage where this service, this attraction becomes spontaneous. Then I don't bother whether Krishna is having opulence or not. My only desire is just to serve Krishna. And when I reach that spontaneous level of affection, then we can actually understand who is Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible to know Krishna. So thus, this is a very high state of affairs. Worship of Krishna, it is very, very confidential. Knowledge of Lord Vishnu is little more accessible. If we worship with rules and regulations very nicely, then we can attain the service of Lord Vishnu. But unless we develop this spontaneous attitude, we cannot attain worship of Krishna. So thus, even those people who are worshipping Lord Narayan, acting as his servants, they do not know that there is another class of devotees who ride on the shoulders of God. Sakam virjahru krita punya punja. That is mentioned in Bhagavatam. This is the most elevated state of affairs. So Arjuna was situated on that platform of friendship. So he was mocking at Krishna, making fun of Krishna, sometimes alone, sometimes in front of other friends. So now, as soon as he is seeing the opulence, that is why Krishna does not show opulence to his devotees. When Yashoda saw so many universes in the mouth of Krishna, she started thinking, oh, Krishna is Supreme Personality. But Krishna made her forgetful. So if Yashoda knows Krishna is Supreme Personality, then that affection, motherly affection, will not be there. So Krishna wants that I am taking care of the whole world. Somebody should take anxiety for me, for feeding me, for dressing me, for taking my care. That gives satisfaction to Krishna. So thus that knowledge of opulence, when it was shown to Arjuna, Arjuna started offering respects, begging pardon. So this Krishna does not want to happen with the most exalted devotees. Thus most exalted devotees, they do not bother Krishna is God or not. I just want to serve Krishna spontaneously. I love doing this seva. This is the most perfect state of spiritual affairs, which was exhibited by the Vrijavasis. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tamasya pudyascha gurur gariyan natvat samo astyabhyadika kutonyo lokatraye api apratima prabhava. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, the worshipable chief, the spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. Within the three worlds, you are immeasurable. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam ahamisha midyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyuhu priyah priyayar hasideva sodhum. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respects and ask your mercy. Please tolerate the wrongs that I may have done to you and bear with me as a father with his son, or as a friend with his friend, or a lover with his beloved. Adrishta purvam rishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha pravyathitam mano me tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagannivasa. After seeing this universal form which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichchami tvam drashtum maham tathaiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishvamurte. O universal Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head, with club, wheel, conch and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogat Tejomayam Vishwam Anantamadyam Yanmetvat Anyena Nadrishta Purvam. The blessed Lord said, My dear Arjuna, happily do I show you this universal form within the material world by my internal potency. No one before you has ever seen this unlimited and glaringly effulgent form. Na veda yagyadhyayanair na danair na chakriyabhir na tapobhirugraih evam rupa shakya aham nriloke drashtum tvad anyena kuru pravira. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charities or similar activities can this form be seen. Only you have seen this. So these activities are very important for spiritual revelation. Na Veda Yagyadhyayanair na Danair. Veda, reading the Vedas is very, very important. Yagyas, performing sacrifice, is very important. Danair, giving one's wealth in charity, is very, very important. Nacha kriyabhir na tapobhir ugray, tapasya, voluntarily accepting discomfort. One has to take so many discomforts to make spiritual advancement. Like Chaturmasya we have discussed. One has to eat very simple food sometimes without using hands, just take directly from the floor. You do not shave and take cold water bath always. Sometimes he has to stand neck deep in water. Sometimes you have to sit surrounded by fire in hot sun. In this way, so much of tapasya is recommended. Voluntarily, one should learn how to take discomforts. So these discomforts, when voluntarily taken, of course, under guidance of scriptures. If we do without guidance of scriptures, these activities, they give pain to the Lord in the heart, because He is our Father ultimately. So if the son is unnecessarily torturing himself, father, mother would feel bad. But if the son is executing hard work in his career, then they feel happy, which is benefiting him for advancement in his life. Thus, tapasya guided by the scriptures, Krishna becomes satisfied in that. So tapasya is important. But if you do whimsical tapasya, any day I am fasting, for any reason I am fasting, such things are not recommended. Fasting should be done only for spiritual advancement of life, not for any other reason. Other tapasya also should be guided by the Vedas, but tapasya is important. Thus, doing parikrama, we go to pilgrimage spots. Sometimes we do parikrama, means circumambulate the entire dham, the pilgrimage spot. Sometimes there are very important manifestations of Krishna, like Shyam Kund is there, the holy lake, Radha Kund is there, Govardhan is there, the great mountain, which is another manifestation of Krishna. We circumambulate them, and it is quite a distance of many kilometers, sometimes 11 kilometers, 25 kilometers, and people do happily take this austerity. Sometimes there are some scars and other disturbances on the feet. Sometimes they feel very much disturbed by the weather conditions, many unfavorable situations, but still they execute that. Now, of course, we have many conveyances. Earlier, people would walk, so it would take many months to reach that place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his foot, he started from Bengal, he went down to deep into South India, and then he came upwards towards Maharashtra, then he went again to Jagannath Puri. So for many months he was traveling on foot. So much tapasya was recommended in the Vedas. Nowadays we do not know this. So even though tapasya has been minimized in Kali Yuga, but this tapasya we should take. It is very important. So reading the Vedas is important, tapasya is important, swadhyay, very important, dana, giving charity, one's own possessions and wealth, that is very important. They help us to understand spiritual life. But by executing these things, no one is able to understand and see this universal form. They are not sufficient. For this, one needs to have bhakti for Krishna. Then Lord Krishna mentions, Ma te vyatha ma cha vimooda bhavo drishtva rupam ghoram idrinmamedam vyapeta bhi prita mana punastvam tadeva me rupam idam prapashya. Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Sanjaya uvacha ityarjunam vasudevastatoktva swakam rupam darshayamasa bhuyaha ashvasayamasa chabhitamenam bhutva punas saumya vapur mahatma. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, while speaking thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form, and at last he showed him his two-armed form, and thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. So Arjuna wanted to prove to the world, just see, this personality before me is not just my friend. He is the person, he is the time factor who is all pervading. He is a universal form, so many universes. That is his body, and also he is the four-handed Narayan form who enters in this universe to take this universal form. Thus he requested, I have seen universal form, the form of time, and now please you show me your four-handed form so that people understand you only are Narayan. So Krishna showed that Saumya Rupam, that four-handed form. Now Krishna is explaining something very important. Please hear attentively. Arjuna uvacha drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanim asmi samvrittaha sacheta prakritim gataha. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, my mind is now pacified and I am restored to my original nature. Shri Bhagavan uvacha sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtavanasi yanmama deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. The blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, the form which you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. So first Krishna has explained this universal form which out of love I have shown to you. Nobody has seen this before. Na Veda Yagya Adhyayanair Chadanair. It cannot be seen by reading the Vedas, by giving charity, by doing tapasya and all these things. Bhakti is required to see this form. This is very difficult to behold. Now Krishna is telling this form is Sudurdarsham. Durdarsham means which is difficult to see, the universal form. Now this form which I have shown you, he showed his four-handed form. Now Manushim Rupam, as it is explained here. Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana. So this Manusham Rupam, the two-handed form which is so pleasant, Krishna is telling, Sudurdarsham Idam Rupam, this Rupa form, Drishtvanasi Mama, this form is Sudurdarsham. It is very, very difficult, much more difficult than the universal form also. Deva api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshina. Always the devtas also, they are hankering to see this two-handed form. So here Krishna is revealing that this two-handed form is the most difficult form to see. It is the origin of all other forms. And as we have discussed in previous chapter also, so many references are there. Ete chansh kalha punsam krishnastu bhagavan swayam. All others, Srimad Bhagavatam mentions in the first canto that all the others, they are kalaha, they are partial expansions, plenary portions, anshas. But the original form is Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is Swayam Bhagavan. So Krishna takes so many forms, but the original form is this two-handed form. So this is very, very confidential, because as we have discussed, Vishnustu Trini Rupani Purushakhyani atho viduhu. The Purusha avatars are 3 in number, 3 Vishnus: Karanodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So the Devtas can approach the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, they can see the 400 forms. That also not every time. They will stand on the bank of the Kshir Sagar, they will chant Purusha Sukta prayers. And sometimes they hear the voice of the Lord, sometimes they are able to see the lotus feet, sometimes they see the Lord, and sometimes no transmission happens, like 5000 years ago. Kansa is giving so much trouble, they went there, they want relief but no response. Then Lord Brahma sat in meditation, and then because Brahma is pure devotee of Krishna, he got instruction from Krishna that don't worry, tell them I am going to descend. So this is the situation, but still they can sometimes see the Lord. He is manifest, but Krishna is not found within this universe. All the conditioned souls, including Devtas, we are there in this universe only. We cannot go outside. But Krishna, Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto, he lives in Golok Vrindavan. Golok Vrindavan is the topmost planet of Vaikuntha Loka. The description is given in Brahma Samhita, the description is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, the description is there in Brahmanda Puran. Lord Ganesha is explaining that above all the Vishnu Lokas, you will find Golok Vrindavan, and there is nothing beyond this dham, this planet, where Krishna lives in his two-handed form. And in all the other Vaikuntha Lokas, one can only worship up to Dasya Rasa. So there are 5 rasas, 5 kind of relationships which one has with Krishna. One is relationship in neutrality, that is called Shanta Bhav. When we come to the temple, we see the deities, we appreciate with spiritual advancement, we appreciate the form of Krishna. That is Shant, neutrality. Passive, there is no active service, just like fans are there. Fans are not rendering any service to celebrity, but passive service, they become so delighted when they see them, and obviously the celebrities also, they enjoy this. When the cricketers would enter the stadium and they would roar, shout their names, and they feel jubilant, and when they retire, they miss that feeling. So the fans, they give pleasure without actively engaging in service. This is called Shantarasa. The relationship with God begins from there. That is good, but one needs to advance more. If you are really a fan, go and do something practical for the pleasure of your personality, for the Supreme Personality. That is called Dasya Rasa, carrying out the orders. And in Vaikuntha Loka, the service is restricted up to this level, Shantarasa, Dasya Rasa. Because Narayan, you cannot put your hand around his neck. He is Supreme Lord, the King of the Kings. So with distance, in awe and reverence, worship is done. And there is some rasa of fraternity, friendship, but that also with distance, with awe and reverence. Close friendship is not at all there. That is also very, very rare. But in Golok Vrindavan, advanced rasas, friendship in great intimacy, as we saw here. Sakam Vijaru Krita Punya Punja. They are playing with Krishna, making fun of him. And then there is one higher rasa, which is the actual platform from which Lord Chaitanya, he told, this is the real service which Lord Krishna appreciates so much. He appreciates everyone. There is no difference. Krishna loves all his devotees equally, whether a calf is there or Srimati Radharani is there. But still, if we analyze from a neutral perspective, there is difference among the rasas. For example, a man likes his son, his daughter, his nephews, niece, uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers, sisters, parents, and so many relationships are there. And a man would like to always have all these relationships. But still, if we analyze, the most intimate relationship is the relationship with one's spouse. That is most intimate. And that gives great pleasure to the heart. If this pleasure is not there in life, other relationships are okay, but a man wants this relationship. In a similar fashion, although Krishna likes to be served in all these relationships, at the same time, the devotees do not like to change their positions also. Just like the daughter would not like to become mother of the father, or wife of the father, or brother of the father. Daughter would like to remain daughter of father, son would like to remain son of his father. So they all like their unique relationship. They are completely satisfied in that. And Krishna also wants all these relations But if we analyze, there is one relationship which is very intimate, which is most desirable, and that is relationship with the spouse. So thus, beyond this relationship of fraternity, friendship is called Vatsalya Rasa. Till there, Krishna is taking care. Now on Vatsalya platform, Krishna is being taken care. So this is the platform on which Nand Maharaj, Yashoda Mai, they serve Krishna. They are always anxious. So Krishna has been fed or not. So Krishna must be in difficulty, or some demon has kidnapped Krishna. They are so much anxious. They are fainting. So they are always worried. Oh Krishna, why Mother Yashoda is scolding Krishna when he gives butter to the monkeys? Because Krishna may go hungry. Monkeys may eat all the butter. So she is getting angry that my son will remain hungry. So she is scolding. So Krishna gets great pleasure in this. That I am controlling everyone. I am chastising a miscreants. Somebody chastises me in love. Oh, I get so much of satisfaction. So I am taking care of the whole world. Somebody is taking care of me. Oh, this is so nice. So rather than asking God for service, we should try to give service to the God. Rather than requesting Krishna, please take care of me always, we should have faith that Krishna anyway is taking care of us. We are his part and parcel. We automatically take care of our finger. We take care of our children. That is natural. We need not ask. We need not be selfish and lose faith on Krishna, that Krishna might have got busy somewhere, so we are suffering here. No, Krishna is all-knowing, omniscient, all-powerful. He can give all protection. So whatever Krishna is doing, devotee is satisfied. If I am suffering, it is okay. I am happy, it is okay. But Krishna, I want to take care of your service only. Please always engage me in your service. This is devotee's demand, request, only request. So Vatsalya Rasa. And higher than Vatsalya Rasa, parental love is Madhurya Rasa, conjugal relationship. So this is the rasa which is most intimate. And all these rasas, high rasas, they are available. Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa and Madhurya Rasa. They are available only in Golok Vrindavan, the topmost planet of the Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual world. So this is the pleasure which was exhibited by the gopis in Vrindavan, which was experienced by the gopis in Vrindavan. Thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Ramya Kachit Upasna Vrajvadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. The highest worship is the worship which is done by the gopis of Vrindavan. So we should follow the footsteps. Once when Krishna was in difficulty, he had some sickness. So nobody was able to cure it. So now they asked, Lord, you are only the Lord. You please tell us what is the remedy. You know everything. So he told, if you bring the dust of the lotus feet of my devotees, put it on my head, that will cure me. Now various devotees were asked, but everybody was hesitant. Dust from my feet I put on God's head, I will go to hell. This is the biggest sin that a person can do. One needs to take dust of Lord from on his head. I give dust from my feet to Lord, I will go to hell. No, I cannot do this. Finally, when gopis were approached, they told, oh please take it. Take truckloads of it, and please, does not matter if Krishna is getting well, we are ready to suffer in hell for unlimited births eternally. But let Krishna get well. So this is devotee's desire. Let me suffer does not matter in the service of Krishna. But if Krishna is pleased in this manner, let me execute this service. This is the mood of the devotees. So thus this is very great, very confidential revelation. Sudurdarsham idam rupam. This two-handed form of Krishna, it is found only in Golok Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. And once in a day of Brahma, that form is visible here on this planet in Vrindavan, what we see 5,000 years ago. So this two-handed form, Manusham Rupam, Sudurdarsham Idam Rupam, this is most difficult to be seen. So this revelation is there in Bhagavad Gita also, that this form is the topmost, this is the highest, because the highest rasas also are available only in this form, not in other forms. And Deva Piyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kangshina. Thus when Krishna was there in the womb of Devaki, all the Devatas they came. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, everybody is offering their prayers, because this form is very, very rare to be seen. Nityam Darshana Kangshina. Devatas can see sometimes Narayan form, but this two-handed form is very rare. Once in a day of Brahma only they can see this. So they are very eager to see. Whenever there is time for appearance, they come and they offer their prayers with folded hands. If we read Bhagavad Gita carefully, so many important revelations we will find here. Na ham veda na tapasa na danena na chejyaya shakya evam vido drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha. The form which you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. So these words are repeated, you see. Na Vedaya, na tapasa, na danena. So universal form cannot also be seen by Vedas, Dan and Tapasya. But other forms can be seen by worship. But this formality of worship, those people who go to temple and without any affection, they are simply doing worship as a matter of rule and regulation. So by worship, you cannot see this two-handed form of Krishna. This is very rare. Thus, even though we worship Radha Krishna in the temple, but the worship standards are of Lakshmi and Narayan. Because Radha Krishna cannot be worshipped unless a person reaches spontaneous level. We just discussed spontaneous level. When a person simply is thinking of God day and night and wants to engage in the service of God, that is spontaneous worship. Then Radha Krishna can be worshipped. Otherwise, Radha Krishna's deities in the temple, they accept the service in the mood of Lakshmi and Narayan. And thus the rules and regulations which we follow for worshipping Radha Krishna in the beginning, that is also the Pancharatrika Vidhi given to worship Lakshmi Narayan forms. Lakshmi Narayan forms is with so many rules and regulations. Like a king, you have to be very punctual, very clean, so many formalities to be observed. But in service of Krishna, no formality. Like Sanatan Goswami, one of the immediate disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was having Madan Mohan deity. So these deities are also another incarnation called Arch Avatar. Just like there is Avatar of Lord Krishna which appears like a human being, the form that we see in the temple, even though they are carved out of wood and stone, they are not wood and stone, they are Krishna himself. Krishna has used our hands maybe to exhibit those forms, but those forms are completely spiritual. They appear like wood and they appear like stone, but to pure devotees, they are as good as Krishna, who is there in the spiritual world, and he walks with them, talks with them. Thus, Sanatan Goswami, he was carrying the Madan Mohan deity. Madan Mohan deity was carved by Vajranab, the great grandson of Krishna. So who tells that these things are mythology? We have Madan Mohan deity. It is being worshipped in Karoli, in Rajasthan. You go there. Govind Dev Ji deity is there in Jaipur. Gopinath Ji is there also in Jaipur. These deities are carved by Vajranab. So deities are real. So the person who carved them, got them carved, he is also real. He is great grandson of Krishna, Vajranab. There is historical reference. So Krishna is a real personality, but divine personality. So this Madan Mohan deity, one of the deities, was being carried by Sanatan Goswami, who was staying under different trees. He was moving around, sannyasi, writing books and like that. And he would hang the deity of Madan Mohan on a tree, and then he would describe the Vedic literatures, write them, compile them, chant his names. In this way, he would do his work. And then whatever little things he needs to eat, those things he would offer to Madan Mohan Ji. So one day Madan Mohan Ji told the deity, which appears like a stone, Sanatan, every day you are giving me dry chapatis, please give me little salt also. So Madan Mohan Ji, simple request. So Sanatan Goswami told, my dear Lord, I have got so much of seva to do. I have to write all these books. Today you are asking me salt, tomorrow you will ask ghee. I am a sannyasi. How will I arrange all these things? So please be satisfied with that. So this is called spontaneous love. You need not observe many standards, having a nice throne, chamar, vyanjan and peacock fan, all these things. You hang Krishna on a tree, hang on your neck, offer him dry chapati, not very delicious food stuff. Krishna is satisfied by pure love. No rules and regulations. So Krishna can be worshipped on this spontaneous platform. So by formal worship, eat jaya, it is being mentioned here. By following rules and regulations and this thing, you can see other form, but you cannot approach Krishna, two-handed form. That is only by rules and regulations one can approach Narayan, four-handed form. But without, when a person reaches spontaneous platform, only then. So all these words are very important. You notice eat jaya, this word has been added to see this two-handed form of Krishna. Cannot be seen even by formal worship. With great love, spontaneous love worship, Temple worship is important, but with great love, spontaneous love, it has to be done. Now let us see the final verses. Bhaktya tvanyaya shakya aham evam vidhorjuna gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So here Krishna has told, Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya. So by not formality, your mind is somewhere and you are offering the lamp and this thing with great love. So deity worship is very important. We should do every day, but we should do it with great attention and with great love. Bhaktya tu ananyaya, without any ulterior motive. Only then Krishna can be known. So it does not mean, please do not neglect all these things. Okay, tomorrow onwards I will not read Bhagavad Gita. I will not read Vedas. I will not engage in tapasya. I will not give any charity. No, these things have to be done. But we have to do these things with great love. Just like we spend money out of love for our family members. So in that love we should try to spend for Krishna. We have to read Vedas for the pleasure of Krishna, to understand Krishna, so that I can serve Krishna very nicely. Tapasya should be done also only for the service of Krishna, not for any other ulterior motive, that I have this personal agenda, so no, not for that. So all these things we have to execute for the service of Krishna under direction of spiritual master. So now this last verse of this chapter, this is called the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So please hear very carefully all the words which are very, very important. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sanga varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yassamameti pandava. My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. So Krishna is telling, Mat karma krin, mat parmo. So what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Mat karma krin. One should do karmas for Krishna's service, Krishna karma. As we have discussed, whatever skills we have got, we have to use it for Krishna. We want to make skyscrapers, make a skyscraper temple for Krishna, so that everybody can come and participate in the service of Lord. We want to do business, do nice business for the benefit of Krishna. You have no skills, you can just cook very nice things for Krishna. Same perfection and pleasure can be achieved. So nowadays people are suffering because they think by engaging only in a particular way, I'll be happy. Only if I enter the topmost institute of the country, in the topmost government position, in the topmost corporate position, then I will be happy in my life. This is complete misconception. Our happiness is related to, it is directly proportional to how much we are pleasing God. That's it. This is the relationship. Yatha taror mul nisheshanena tripyanti tatra skand bhujopa shakha. If these fingers feed any other mouth, apart from this one, fingers will not get nourishment. So we have to understand our relationship with the Supreme. So we are part and parcel of Supreme. Only when we serve the Supreme, we will get nourishment, the happiness which we are seeking. So we need not change our position. That Krishna will stress again in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Sve sve karmani abhirataha. In one's own occupation. Sam siddhim labhate naraha. Siddhi means perfection. Sam siddhi means topmost perfection. So it is so simple and so nice. We need not worry. And I don't have the skills, but I am somehow struggling. We need not worry. Whatever skills we have or we don't have, to our capacity, Patram Pusham, Krishna is telling, offer me water, offer me leaf, I'll be satisfied with that. Mat karmikrin, what is required is engagement in the service of Krishna. Cooking, cook for Krishna. Cleaning, clean for Krishna. You cannot do anything, you can simply use your tongue, chant the names of Krishna, sing for Krishna, spread the message of Krishna, preach, explain to others. So just we have to do mat karma krin, and we can experience this. It is practical. So I request all of you. So now by Krishna's grace, there are so many opportunities, so many places where practically devotees can come, and under proper guidance they can engage in the service of Krishna. So please try to see that practically in your life. Automatically, there is no need to argue when there is some practical thing available. The taste of pudding is in eating it. So you taste it and then you will realize automatically. Then all the debates will get silenced. There would be no need. Mat karma krin. The success is whatever skills we have got, orientation we have got, we should serve Krishna in that capacity. So don't take stress, don't take anxiety. Just try to implement this thing. And then mat paramo. Now I am engaged in service of Krishna for what? So that I can continue my material happiness here, so that Krishna makes me successful in my some sense gratification here. We will have sense satisfaction automatically. Senses will not demand any separate satisfaction. They will always be satiated. But service of Krishna should only be mat paramo, for Krishna. So association of Krishna in the spiritual world is the topmost aim for the spiritualist. So Krishna should be made the ultimate aim of all the activities. So one should engage in the service of Krishna so that only a person can attain, go and live with God personally. And this was very well known to people, in especially in this Aryavarta, where people were following Sanatan Dharma. That is why the snakes and ladders, it is called Mokshapati in Sanskrit. Mokshapati means ultimately you have to attain moksha, freedom from this birth and death. That was known to people. And it was called Vaikuntha Palli, how to reach Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means the place where there is no anxiety. And thus Lord Vishnu is called Venkateshwar, that is from Vaikunteshwar, Lord of Vaikuntha. So one has to ultimately reach the association of Lord Vaikunteshwar, Venkateshwar in the Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha Palli. So the ladders, they are virtues, tapasya, dan, swadhyay, yajna, and the snakes, they represent vices, lust, anger, greed, deceit, falsity, adultery, intoxication, all these things. So child also knows these things have to be avoided. This is where if you do tapasya, then the ladder will take you to certain planet. If you do another tapasya, charity, it will take you to some different result. So the child knows everything, the laws of karma. If I do this activity, the result is that. I go to this planet and ultimately the result is Vaikuntha. I have to go. So mat paramo, attaining my association, I should be the aim of life, of all the activities that you are doing. Mad bhakta sangha varjita, thus you have to engage in my service, and sangha varjita, avoid the association of non-devotees. So non-devotees having a consciousness, if we associate with them intimately, then we will pick up their qualities. So just like it is very practical, we see now also children are always being cautioned by their parents. Don't associate with bad children, those who are not studious, those who are not having good manners, those who are into bad habits, do not associate with them. So in a similar fashion, those people who are completely unaware of the aim of life, they are into bad habits, sense gratification, other addictions. The whole world is actually addicted. So this sense enjoyment which we have made the aim of life, it is nothing but addiction. It is not required, but we artificially keep on increasing our dependence on the resources which is not required in the first place. So if we associate with people who are addicted to unnecessary enjoyment, that is not recommended. So sangha varjita is very important. So now by Krishna's grace, we have so many devotees. We should try to live in the community of devotees and socialize only with the devotees. This is important. Yes, we should be very respectful to everyone because Lord is present in the heart of everyone. We should not be disrespectful even to the animals. Maintaining very good behavior, one should avoid because they are having disease. Even our family member, we quarantine them if they get diseased, right? We care for them, but if we approach them too closer, we will also get diseased. So for the time being, let us maintain some distance, take care of them with some distance. So we do preach them, do try to help them to come out. We should try to do that, as we will see Krishna mentions that, but We don't intimately mix with them. We intimately mix only with the devotees. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Then one should be friendly to all living entities. Nirvaira. Vaira means enmity. Nirvaira means no enmity, friendly. What is the meaning of friendly? Not just formality, I'm your friend. Real friend means who goes and helps the friend in distress. So the whole world is in distress. It is told in Srimad Bhagavatam, the greatest calamity that can happen to a person, the greatest loss that can happen to a person is not losing one's life. We think if life is lost, everything is lost. No, because we know we will take another body, it's just changing of dress. So one should not cry for death. The greatest loss is not loss of wealth, is not loss of anything. But it mentions the greatest loss is forgetting the lotus feet of Krishna for one moment. Because we do not relish the nectar which devotees enjoy on spiritual platform when they are completely pure, when their heart is cleansed completely of lust and greed. Like the gopis, they are cursing that Brahma does not know how to make the bodies. Why he has made eyes to blink? Because when we blink the eyes, we close for a fraction of moment and then we miss the sight of Krishna and we curse. Why these eyes need blinking? So they cannot tolerate missing Krishna's vision even for the fraction of moment, for the blink of an eye. This much pleasure devotees derive when they behold the beautiful form of Krishna through their eyes or within their heart. So forgetting the lotus feet of Krishna for one moment is the biggest loss, they are telling him. So people are so much suffering every moment, they are being harassed because they cannot think of lotus feet of Krishna always. And obviously the basic miseries are there. Death is there, repeated death, old age, disease. And because of ignorance, we have created so much unwanted stress in our life. So Nirvaira means we should preach Krishna consciousness. Give them these simple instructions. Mat karma krin, please engage in the service of Krishna. Mat parmo, make Krishna the ultimate aim of life. Satatam kirtayantu mam, always chant Krishna's name. So these simple teachings we can spread to others. There is no loss. Why don't you try this, please? Please try this thing and you'll see that it is very sublime. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yas samameti pandava. Certainly such a person comes to me, mam eti. He will come to my abode. So it is important to engage in service of Krishna. So this is very practical. It is not some theory. So if we do not have knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we'll see, oh, wonderful philosophy. But then we do not know how to apply it. But here it is very simple. Mat karma krin, engage in service of Krishna. Mat parmo, make going back to live with Krishna, ultimate aim of life. Mad bhakta, thus engage in his devotional service. Sangha varjitaha, avoid bad association who are non-devotees, no idea about aim of life. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, you have to work for the welfare, act in a friendly manner for all living entities. Thus spreading Krishna consciousness is must for going back to Godhead. One has to act for the welfare of others. Gyanis and yogis, they don't do welfare. They go and sit in the Himalayas, they will read the Vedas, Vedanta, disregard entire material world as illusion. They will not help others. But helping others is very important. So one who helps others, Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, yas samameti pandava, he will come to you. So please just read this again and meditate how we can implement in this life. And we are always there to guide how this can be practically implemented in life. And then within this human body only, when this body is purified by executing this, there is unlimited bliss always within the heart. So this was the crux of this chapter. We have seen that the two-handed form of Krishna, which was shown to Arjuna, that is the topmost, that is most confidential. And from that form expands Narayan form, from that expands the universal form. And further, now as some people, impersonalists, they tell that this universal form is supreme, that has been very, very clear, but still there can be some lingering doubt whether that impersonal path is better or this devotional path is better. So now directly, very, very clearly, Arjuna puts forth this question. Always there has been this debate, impersonalism versus personalism. So if you have read Bhagavad Gita very carefully, we would have come to the right conclusion. Still, if there is some lingering doubt, that will be cleared now. Arjuna is putting forth now direct question. Arjuna, who is supreme? One who worships impersonal form, your energy which is spread everywhere, or the devotee who always worships your personal form? The answer will be given in the next chapter. Very nice, important chapter, devotional service. So thank you so much for hearing till now. I request, just never forget this fundamental principle to always chant the holy names of Krishna and never forget him. We'll meet very soon. Hare Krishna.